How you doing, everyone? Chris at Dentless Touch. As always, we have Davo.
What's up, guys?
Joining us on today's podcast. Today's topic is goals, Dentless Touch goals for 2020. We just want to share with you kind of the way we're thinking about our goals, personal and career goals, and we'll just want to go over that. First, we want to thank our sponsors, Mobile Tech RX, Blim Tools, and Dentcraft Tool Guys. So again, if you want to support the podcast, just head over to their website. If you see something you like, just purchase through them, and that's how you support us. So I want to thank you for everyone that's already done that. I want to thank you. And I want to thank everybody who has watched us since day one. You know, I think we're on like our 90th episode. I don't even want to tell you the episode number because I'm always going to be wrong. But I think we're around the 90th, coming up on 100. So I want to thank everybody who's joined us since day one or just coming in and viewing or listening to our podcast. So we're going to break this down into like two. So we're going to do external and then internal. So what you guys may see is changes for 2020 for us and some of the stuff that we're going to do internally inside the company. So let's start with the external stuff. That's easy enough, right?
Yeah.
So in the external stuff, we are going to set up pop-up shops. So this is a new little thing that we're going to do. We're going to 10 car shows this year. They're going to be selective. Most of the time, it's going to be on a schedule base. We're going to try to go to the bigger ones. A lot of the bigger ones, you need a lot. There's a vendor fee, and since we're doing, I don't think we're going to quite do repairs there. But we're going to just
educate,
make the brand awareness.
About education, getting the word out there for PDR. What is Dentless Touch? Who are we? Where do we service? Yep. What are we able to fix? And a car show is a great place to be and to deliver that information.
Yep. And so again, we're gonna try to get something a little crazy, like in the mall, just something ridiculous spot that we can just pop up and maybe even look at some pop-up shops that makes sense for us to be at. But for right now, it's just 10 car shows a year, and we're just outfitting. How we're doing that? We're outfitting every vehicle to have the proper tools to set up these shops, especially for the guys. All our guys are going to be doing 10 shops, so this may be more of like 20-ish shops between the technicians that we have. But every technician is obviously getting we're going to do like a blow fan, so it's going to be like a mist fan because most likely it's going to be in the summer. And then they're getting a table, nice little tight tablecloth, and then all the information, the marketing. Supplies and all that stuff so that they can set up their own location. And then one of our other technicians is going to come and join them, do some demonstrations. And so that's our external goal, or one of the external goals. Dave, you want to go over the other one?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking to make our content more fluid. So, and what we mean by that is getting it on all the platforms in a nice, understandable way, creating more content, and just creating more and distributing more. I think that's kind of what we're going to be, but making it all work together, not just throwing a piece here, cutting this one, putting a piece there, maybe just a one YouTube. We want to make it all kind of work together, and one will link to this one, which will link to another one, more blog posts, and blog posts are going to have links to the YouTube videos are going to have links to, where you can buy either merchandise or, ebook, stuff like that we're coming out with. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to be just creating, then having to distribute, right? So, and I think you guys have heard a lot of this, maybe in some other marketing stuff, if you guys are into this type of thing, but it's kind of what it's about this year. I think it's going to be a lot of creation. This is going to be, almost a full year for me here. And so now I have a decent assessment of what kind of needs to be done and how I kind of put my flair on things with the way I kind of do stuff. So, create more and distribute more. That's going to be just and making it all work together, making it all link together, backlink together. It's going to be on the website, which will link to, and it'll just all flow, and that's kind of, because right now we have it out there and we have it in certain places. I just don't think that it all works together.
Yeah, if people think that we've been doing a bunch of tests in the last 6 months, just testing different things, different articles, and we're really starting to build up this this archive of information that we haven't released yet. But yeah, Dave has been writing a ton of blog posts. I think we're at like 3 for me. I think Dave, you're at like 4 or 5. And then we got this ebook coming out. We got our new training platform coming out that we're going to be talking about. So stay tuned for that video. I don't want to release too much details on that on the podcast, but you'll see in the next video or one of the few coming videos that, how we're going to work. And our training is going to be completely different than anybody else's training that I've seen so far. So on the external side, that's what you're going to probably, see from us. You could probably see a little bit more social media posting. We've been still playing around with that, just trying to figure out where the benefits are and see where we should put our effort in.
Yeah. We had multiple locations having their own Instagram page. We cut them down to just one main
and
Dentless
saw
touch
no
page.
difference in sales. And honestly, we went like cold turkey and only posted like 4 times a month. And again, saw no difference in sales. So, maybe Instagram is not the most
profitable
ideal,
avenue
for leads, and that's quality leads. And so, there's a difference if someone call you and just get asked for a quote. That's not a lead. That's a lead, but we want the actual sale, right? So we got to figure out where the sales come in at and spend more time there.
And that's going to be part of our internal stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to just kind of transition here from our external goals to now internal. And that's going to be diving deeper into our analytics. Mobile Tech RX has a great.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a new feature or multiple features, right? So, but it's like it's analytics, and now you can dive the deepest you can go into what shop, what panel, what make and model that you work on the most, the least, what shop. I haven't really taken a look at it. I know you have a little bit more than I have, but that feature alone is going to be huge just for the internal organization of Dentless Touch.
Yeah, I want to know that IG customer. I want to know the entire stream from the lead, from capturing it, where we capture it, from what ad, how it comes in, to exactly what kind of car he has, and then how much did he pay, as far as what did that, the total sales on that one. Because I need to know where the bulk of our money is coming from. And I'm anticipating not seeing Instagram or even YouTube as number 1 or number 2. I'm anticipating that. So I don't want to be biased and be like, oh man, see what I say, and kind of gravitate to where I think most of our revenue is coming from as far as the customers. But once we've figured out that information, the top place that sends us work or avenue that sends us work, that's when we're going to double down, because that's obviously the most lucrative. And it's obviously all done in an analytics and just numbers. And so a lot of people just think, just posting or just YouTube channel, it must be, glory because of the YouTube channel's popularity. But again, I want to see it equate to sales. I love you guys, and I do it for the viewers and just the interaction and all that stuff, just sharing my knowledge and Dave's knowledge and just getting the feedback. So that's a whole different reason why we do.
We edit. We like to edit. We like to film. That's part of our hobby.
Exactly. We like
it ties in
process too. So so you won't see us stopping doing views, but we need to figure out how should we tailor our views to tailor our videos to bring in the right customers, and just all types of analytics and
that's going to be an internal goal, just organizing our content. Like I said, an external goal is just creating and distributing. It's going to be organizing it all. How is it going to go? What days? What platforms? What links are going to be associated within these posts and stuff like that. So all this takes sitting down, talking to each other, what works, looking at analytics, going over certain things. And if you're not doing that currently, it's a great time to start. It's the beginning of the year. It's typically slower for our type of service anyway. So you should have a little more time to kind of work on the business, as we always talk about, rather than in the business. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. There's a story, I forget which book to told me, and he said every year for the last 10 years, they advertised with, I believe it was like the Washington Post or some paper company. They spent $125,000 advertising. And they thought it was a big contributor to their 10% sales growth year over year. And for some reason, one year, someone dropped the ball, a check wasn't sent, whatever the case may be, they were under the impression that everything was there, just like normal, front page or whatever their advertising agreement was with that paper company. They thought everything was normal. Come back, they reevaluated. I guess the accounting department says, "Oh, we never sent that check," or whatever the case may be. But then, so the CEO said, "Well, we still did 11% increase without spending the $125,000 in advertising." So he clearly, and basically the moral of the story is you don't know if it's actually contributing to your sales unless you cut it off, or you have some information that directly, or some way of managing or measuring, I should say, where those leads are coming from. So I don't want to get into that where we're just spending money aimlessly. I want to spend money on the only thing that gives the most leads. Even though Facebook may give me 1 lead a month, okay, well, I can deal without that lead and spend more time on the one that gives me 38 leads a month.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the way I'm thinking about it.
No, yeah, it makes complete sense. Yeah, and these are things that just need to be done, to keep the business running successfully.
Yeah.
As a solopreneur, maybe they're not looking at these things, right? It's a lot easier. Money just comes in and it goes out. It comes in, it goes out.
Yeah,
it's very just, black and white. When you have a lot of moving parts, multiple employees, technicians, vehicles, insurance, locations, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be analyzed to really maximize profits. So just organizing, getting all that organized internally is just a goal for 2020. I think one of our next goals is going to be just more monthly get-togethers. We've been doing that over the last year,
developing the company culture.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Did a couple football games or sporting events, stuff like that. We
got to hire 2 more people, and we just want to kind of let them experience, our culture, and we have fun. We play just as hard as we work, and get them to understand that concept in a nice way, or just a real professional way, I should say. That's what we're trying to develop and try to instill in the guys. And that's not something that we can just do this year and not do next year, right? So it's an ongoing process, and just making everybody feel welcome inside the company and all that good stuff. So there's going to be people that I feel as though there's going to be people that we hire that I'm not going to communicate with throughout the day. And so we need to make sure that culture is correct and is tight. So that way we keep everybody on the same wavelength as I'm thinking. So, and then measure accountability, just making sure the guys, they have their daily and weekly tasks and goals, but just a different way of measuring that accountability. May even dabble into a reward system or something like that. Currently, right now, our guys are very highly motivated and don't really need rewards. But the fact that we get together, it's like it's just amazing. It's like a group of brothers and sisters that get together. It's actually pretty cool. Anything else internally that we're going to be working on here? Our training. The training is external, but it helps internal too. So as we hire guys, I think they're just getting better and better training from us.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Anything else external we're working on?
I just have a couple personal goals, Just,
let's go over that. What's your personal goals?
For me, it's going to be kind of just, it's going to be not working on my negotiation. It's not really selling, right? But it's going to be working on being more comfortable with the customer. Mm-hmm. I'm used to, and it's still, even a year, it's taken this long to really make a good change, just because, habits are, it's old habits die hard, right? So I'm learning to just be more patient with our customers, really, deliver on our knowledge, our expertise throughout the sale, and then hopefully to capture it for, what we're worth, instead of feeling like I always have to accommodate and kind of lower my price just based off of not a guilty feeling, but just an internal feeling, right? So I'm going to be working on just being more patient with our customers.
Yeah. I mean, you're already patient. It's just more of a personal feeling, I would think, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I look like I'm patient,
okay,
but what's going on inside is just really trying to make sure that it all goes smooth and read body language and make sure that I'm saying everything right. I'm educating them the correct way. I'm not just skipping over. Well, we got to take this part. We got to move here. We got to do this, and so this is the price. You know, and I'm just
Yeah.
really trying to explain and slow it down and really make sure. Now, some customers don't like that. Maybe
Yeah.
they're looking for that
But
quickness.
that's where body language, reading body
Exactly,
language
and
and
it's
stuff
just
like that.
being patient, allowing myself to read that. Okay, cool. They want something a little faster. I can do, no problem. This is what we got to do. This is what, how long it's going to take, and this is the price. That here, yes or no. But it's the ones that are taking a little more time, who want a little more explanation, who are needing that a little more explanation to hand over their keys. Right? They need to feel comfortable with you, and so that's just me working on that. I think that's going to be one of my main goals this year.
Nice. Hey, I got an idea for a podcast. We can do like little like role playing for a negotiation, like on the podcast.
Yeah, I
know
think we
do
have a
it
lot of.
internally. Yeah, that'd be hot.
Yeah, I think we have a
So
lot
if you
of.
guys want that, leave a comment on this video. I mean,
Yeah.
this podcast that you guys are interested in seeing. Me be the customer, and then Dave be the salesperson or the technician, and then we can swap it. Maybe try to get Paul coordinating on it.
Yeah, we have
cool,
a lot. Yeah, I think we have a lot of
yeah.
just responses that we get all the time that we're able to answer, that we have to,
Answer on the fly,
curve or
yep.
something like that. And so
Even one today, I mean, I was able to figure out what money he has to work with, and then just determine that, hey, that's not enough, and it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I mean, we were able to negotiate a fair price for both parties, and I think if I didn't stop that negotiation at the beginning, we would have never came up with an agreed price. It would have all been, we would have pretty much went our separate ways with just like, screw it, I'm not going with him, it's too expensive, and I would have said he's, not trying to spend any money or whatever.
Yeah.
And so because I kind of stopped the negotiation, just say, truly, what are you looking for here? And I was able to, get the sale for what we needed. But yeah, and also Dave, you are a writer for Medium. So the guys go ahead and Google Dave and Medium if you don't know that it's it's a place where people can go and write blog articles and share it with the blogging community. And me and Dave are both subscribers to Medium. Yeah. And so if you are, check out Dave's article. It's pretty informative.
Yeah.
Any other personal goals, Dave?
Off the top of my head, I think, just for work, just always just striving to be a better technician, right? Just always, making sure that I'm trying to stay on top of the craft as much as possible. I know I don't stay on top of the tools as much, but at least just the methods of how we use our tools, and just, with newer cars coming out, just trying to stay on top of that and making sure what cars are high strength. And it's been pretty easy for the last couple of years, but some of these newer models are getting, kind of crazy. So, and then just even the way that they're styled now, a lot of these are coming out with harder body lines and just stronger, more prominent lines on the car, which are, making our job more difficult. So just trying to stay on top of that skill at all times, so someone can't come behind me and, say they could do it better. So,
no, I got you. For my personal goals, I want to read more. I'm trying to read, a book every 2 weeks. And not only just read the book, I want to write about the book, because that's how for me, that's how I retain the information in the book. As I'm reading, I'm always writing down notes, but I'm going to write a nice summary of what I've learned in that book. And then that way, just keep a nice list of things, or a nice list of those summaries, so I can always reference back to. So I think it's like 36 books is my goal for this year. And I'm already on book number 1. I'm halfway through that book, and I'm actually going to count that, as 2020, even though it's still 2019 when we're recording this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be finished in 2019, so I get a little head start. But yeah, that's one of the goals. And then just, I think one of the videos, it was like simplify. If anybody doesn't know, I have a young one on the way, a little baby boy on the way. Currently at this day, he's not born yet, but I want to get into a kind of routine of like not being distracted, or just managing my distractions. And again, just start focusing on the business and not in the business. That's where the most profitable time for me is spent. And so that's kind of what I'm setting my whole daily schedule up to be. And then that's going to help with productivity for me. And just have a great routine. All right, everyone, that is our goals for 2020. Again, want to thank our sponsors, Blim Tools, Dentcraft Tools, and Mobile Tech RX. As always, I want to thank you viewers or listeners for listening to the podcast. And we'll see you on the next show.
See ya.
Peace, guys.